Good, good morning. I'm glad to be with you. I'm glad for the interest in this. First, I think we need to discuss the different types of brushes. I prefer for scrolling the synthetic brush. It's about an inch long at least, and it has a lot of bounce to it. Whereas the natural haired brushes have a little bounce, but not a lot, and they're not quite as good for this type thing. They're more of a detailing type brush for Dresden and tiny work. You can't use a little bitty tiny brush for the same effect because it has no moving room. The minute you bend it, it starts spreading. You need to be able to bend it a ways and it stays fairly much in the right shape. So these are the ones that I will use. And depending on the kind of scrolling you're doing, depends on which brush you choose. That one has a few hairs sticking out, so I'm going to leave it and choose this one. That's a 0. A 1 would be just as good. Now, my paint is a little bit wetter with the oil I paint with than it is on my palette. You can see it's a little bit wetter. We wouldn't paint with it that wet. And I draw it down into my work zone. And I have a large enough area to really get into it. This is why I do not do it on a palette. I do not want to be boxed into just one space. To do the actual work, I dip in brush cleaner or turpentine. And before I start, let's go over some of the types of scrolls. You can have scrolls that comprise the entire piece. You can have scrolls that incorporate the design in with them. Or you can have scrolls that just frame the entire thing and they don't incorporate. Now, this one is a really good incorporation. It is in, under, and through the design. This one does nothing but circle. It's not part of the design. This one circles. This one circles. You can see it's not into and through the design itself. It does nothing but frame it. Then you have some that comprise the alphabet or numbers. Here's one for Alicia. So that does a little bit of both. It is the design and it also frames another part of the piece. This one combines, it goes behind it, but then mainly circles. The wedding one, it is part of the design. It's incorporated into it. These are nothing but gold and pin work. And so they're a lot more delicate. And these are just gold by themselves with a brush. And of course, you have the raised paste, which is essentially scrolls. They're just a different size. So you can see there's lots of varieties, lots of things you can do. This one is part of the design. It would not be the same thing without it. So that's just a few examples of what you can do with scrolling. Do not be limited. Let your mind just go for it wherever you enjoy it. Now, I first started teaching this with these individual. I learned right away that's wrong. So I'll show you after I started what I started going to.
Can't zoom in, so you're going to put that in.
Partly re-moisten with your brush cleaner. Now I put it out here at the side. I don't come over into my load of paint. And come over and I mix it in really well. You don't just want to drip it in. Let's do that again. You don't just go from here over to here. That would be too much. By the time you mixed it all, you'd have too much on your brush. So let's wipe the brush a little and try it again. I load flat, and if I want a small line, I turn it. And if I want a large line, I go that way. So I want a large one. What I call anchoring it, going in a circle, then mash and lift, 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 lift as you go. Now I learned pretty quickly. Reload, lay one cradled into that one. If you practice separately, it's very hard to come back and combine them. If you just practice with them already combined, I think the end results happen better for you. Incorporate both of those into your next one. Now, when you do that, don't come here at the end to make your head. Come way back here. Anchor, mash, and let's cut across. Reload every time. Now I have two different areas and I have to pick up both of them. So anchor, mash, and get both. Take your time. You see how slowly I'm going. There is no rush. Anchor, mash, and come out beside it. Reload. Up here. Anchor, mash, and pick them both up. Now, when I do that, I usually tie them together like that. You always want them to look like they're part of each other. Now, maybe I want to stop there. If I'm going to stop, I have to put a head on it. I don't want the tails pointing off my piece. That really doesn't look attractive, and neither does where I joined this. So when that happens, come back and add a piece. There. Now I want to continue. So I don't pick that one up. What I do, and it's time to get a little bit more juice in here. I'm letting it get a little too dry. Let's cradle one. And we will tie this together. That way, they look like they still belong. I need a little more juice in it. Reload. And I'm going to make a cartouche. Now, a cartouche is simply an enclosure. That is all that means. It can be a large one, a small one, a crooked one. It doesn't matter. It is an enclosure. Take your time. And if you don't like it, wipe it off right then. Don't wait and come back until it's dried a bit. Take it off right then. Now, I don't want this quite the same size. You definitely want to practice some of them fatter, some of them thinner, some of them longer, and some of them shorter. But you definitely don't want to practice itty bitty tiny ones because you'll never grow into the bold ones if that's all you practice. So start with the bold ones. It's easy to cut them down. Now, after it's fired, you can come back and put ribbing in. You can do just the lines themselves, like this one. And I call that a harp effect. Or you can do the cross ones. Let me show you. I think I usually prefer the harp ones. This is what you do not want to do this time. Because if you mess up, you've messed up the whole thing. If you'll wait until it's fired, you get overs as many times as you need them, and nothing is going to be harmed. But I'm impatient, so I want to show you. So I'm taking a chance. Remember, you reload each time. Load it flat and turn it if you want a small one. All right, that's what I call a harp. I can leave it that way, or I can cross over. Let me get a little bit more Brush cleaner. Mix thoroughly. Load. One thing is very important. Always use a curved stroke. A curved stroke is far more forgiving than a straight stroke that you can line up and measure. All right, after that's fired, I can go back and strengthen those that need it. But that's what you do with cartouches. Or you paint something in them like that. Now, I didn't get this to my satisfaction. So I will go back and work on that. You can make this as dressy as you want, as detailed as you want. I love using dots. I think they add a lot to it. Okay, now I've got myself in a situation. How do I continue on? Well, if I start down here, I'm going to have a lot of blank area. So let's start back up here. Anchor, mash, and lift. Anchor, mash, and lift. Oh, little brush cleaner. Reload. Work my way back over to the side. After you've practiced this for a while, you get to do one that I call a feather stroke. Now, everybody wants to start with that one. It's fun. Not a good idea. You need to be very confident with your others because you have to come back and tie one into it. You'll see that one's pretty ugly. What I can do if I'm doing great big ones like that is come back and do a little carving on it, which is fun. Okay, let's get back over here. Quit having so much fun and continue on. That's too big. Does not look good. Don't be afraid to take them off. Thank you. There we go. Much better. Cradle. Try to keep it interesting, different. Every stroke should be a little bit different. You want to learn little fat ones, long skinny ones, little delicate short ones. Now, this is the one I hate to see you practice with because it is really hard after you've done a couple of dozen that size. It's really hard to make you relax and do this size. You can do this size all day long, and it doesn't take much to switch back down to the small one. But you have to learn that yourself. All right, let's clean this up and go to something else. Another thing I love to do is pin work. I think it is so delicate around scrolling. I get a little bit of paint off my palette, and I prefer Alice Wolford's pin medium, but everybody use just what you like. It will work fine. As long as you like it, that's what you want to use. I separate them and draw it in so I don't get it too wet right off the bat, which is very easy to do. Leave it out there. If you mix her medium with dry powder, it will dry and you can paint right over it. If you mix it with paint right off your palette, it'll set up a little for you, but it won't completely dry. Depends on what you're doing with the piece. Alicia does magnificent pin work. She likes it to dry so that she can reach across it and not disturb it. Sometimes I don't want to take the time to do that, so I take it right off my palette. The only way to know if you have it the right consistency is to try it with your pen. No one can look at it and say, yeah, that's right. It depends on you, your pen, and your medium. So mix up what you think is right and try it. If it flows without losing its shape, come back and look at it. If it's holding its shape, that's good. That's what you want. If it won't come off your pen, it's too dry. If it comes off and it just spreads to its neighbor, it's too wet. And right now I've mixed it right, which I can't believe first time out of the box. But after it's fired, come back and play with your pen work.
That's good.
Now, pen work has to be done slowly. It flows at one speed and one speed only. If you go fast, it doesn't care. It doesn't flow. If you go too slow, it keeps flowing. You can get as fancy as you want to get. But there again, fire it first. That way, any mess ups you have, and trust me, you will have some, they won't hurt the basis. You won't lose your entire design. And you see, I was trying to go a little too fast, and it doesn't work well. You want to use your pen work as enhancement to add to. Or if you're doing something very delicate, do the entire thing in scrolls with your pen. And it is the same process you just did with your brush. You see how much smaller it comes out with the pen. It's just easier that way. You can make them bigger, but it's more difficult. And then lots and lots of dots. Judy Jusso taught me so much. And one of the things she taught me is don't try to make your dots all the same size. Put in all kinds of variety. Then if you're having a bad day and you can't get any two of them to match, doesn't matter. You don't need them to match. All right. You do the same thing with gold. However, with gold, clean your nib off frequently and hold it far more upright like this. It's more difficult, but it doesn't like to flow down at this angle, so you'll have to hold it upright. All right, I think that's, well, enamel. Let's see. You can put your enamel after everything's fired again. You can use your enamel, or you can come back with your gold and do more decorative work. Now, do we have questions? Oh, yes. One more thing. I was going to show you an initial. But I forgot to get out some black. Here again, you have to be comfortable with making your scrolls. And you can get as fancy as you want. Now, this is where I like to come in with another color and cross over the existing color, such as black. However, if you are doing these colored ones, every stroke is a different color. And that does not mean go around and paint all of the blue ones and clean your brush and paint all of the yellow ones and clean your brush and come back and paint all of the pink ones. That does not work well at all. By then, the paint has set up too much and it doesn't want to blend or let you drag through it, which is what is so pretty, the colors blending themselves as they go. So you use your brush in pink, and then you clean it and you use it in blue, and you clean it and you use it in green, and you clean it, you use it in yellow, and you overlap them over each other as you go. And that allows them to, number one, you're getting it moist enough because you're cleaning it every time. And number two, you're setting it up where the colors blend themselves into each other. It just works out much prettier if you do it the long way instead of trying to find a shortcut. Shortcuts in this don't work too well. That's about all I know to tell you, unless you have questions. Do we have questions? Suzanne?
If anyone has any questions, unmute yourself and ask for Shirley. This has been a fabulous demonstration. I've learned so much. Just unmute yourself and ask questions if you have any.
Is there anything you want to see again?
Shirley, I loved that feather stroke. I've never seen that one. And I love that you showed the initial because I've never seen anyone demo initials.
Well, they are a lot of fun. I wish I hadn't forgotten to get my other color out, but I did. But the feather stroke, look at what part of the brush is touching the china. For a regular stroke, this part of the brush is laying down. For a feather stroke, this whole part of the brush is laying down. That's what the difference is. And that's where the feathering comes in, is when you lay that brush to the side. Anything else?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Hi, everybody. Because I missed the first minutes of the session, I didn't get which oil did you use?
All right. Whatever oil you are normally painting with. If you paint with an open oil, that's good. You just mix it, take it off your palette, mix a little more oil into it, and you want it to be, about this, too wet to paint with, but not so wet that it's running. Just good and moist. But then you work with brush cleaner, any kind of turpentine or brush cleaner. I don't think mineral spirits work too well, but they might. I put it over to the side, I bring it in and mix it thoroughly. Brush cleaner runs otherwise. I load it flat, and if I want a little line, I turn it. And if I want a bigger one, I leave it flat. It basically looks like a square shader that's very, very long. That way I have an even moistening of paint on my brush. And you cradle, you anchor, mash, and lift, lift, lift as you go. And you practice with them laying inside each other, connecting with each other. Always grab a hold of the one in front of it and incorporate it together. Don't leave these. Don't leave those. You don't want any tails sticking out, pointing off. Oops, I'm sorry. All right. Does that help?
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey.
Hey Shirley, this is Sophie. Love your strokes. Never seen this before. I'm pretty new. Question for you: what brush are you using?
Okay, I'm using what I call a scrolling brush, but they don't call it that. It's just a detail brush. This is a Lang nickel. There are Royals. I get them at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. They're not normal China painting brushes, but they're synthetic. And let's see, that one is, I can't read it. I've rubbed it off.
1 and a 2.
But they come in 10-aught, 2-aught, 1, 2, 3, 4. You will never need the 4. For tiny, tiny work, I use Felipe's little bitty one. Let's see. Now, can you see it there? And for the rest of the stuff, the brush is about 1 inch long. You don't want a short brush. You can't maneuver a short one. It has no place to go. It spreads out immediately.
Okay. Splitting hairs.
Does that help?
I'm sorry, we can't hear
We
you.
can't hear you, sweetie.
Is the tip square or pointy?
Pointy.
It's pointy, but
Pointy.
it will square off. Let me
I
show
see.
you.
Okay.
When
Okay.
you flatten it,
It will
that's
become
what it-
square. Okay.
but if you round it up, it's pointed.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So if I understand regarding the oil, so use the regular oil painting oil, then you use the paintbrush to make it thinner. Is that right?
You use your turpentine
Turpentine.
or turpenoid, whatever that you clean your brushes in.
Mm-hmm.
as long as it's not an oil itself.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm using turpentine, but a lot of people are allergic, so terpenoid, smellless brush cleaner, all of those work. And that's what you thin it down with. And that dries, so you will have to keep doing that.
Shirley, where did you get, the page that you showed that has all the initials on that, is that something you painted?
Yes, I sell that pattern.
Oh, I'd like to get that from you.
Would you private message me your information? And I'm
Yes.
glad to do it. It's $5 plus the shipping, which I don't know what that is.
Right.
But anybody who is interested in any of those that you saw, just private message me. Be glad to help.
Okay, I will do that.
All righty.
Shirley, how can we contact you? You say private message you from
Yes,
where?
please. Pardon?
From where?
How can we contact you privately?
Private messenger.
Shirley Dyer Weston.
Okay, you can just email me at Shirley Dyer, Dyer, Weston at yahoo.com.
Okay.
So that's Shirley Dyer Weston.
At yahoo.com. Okay.
You are a beautiful painter, Shirley.
Thank you so much.
I really love your pieces.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, they
I love doing the scrolls. That's, to me, it's just the icing on it.
they're really beautiful.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
sweetie. How are we doing, Suzanne?
It's been a beautiful presentation, and we had many people who weren't able to attend today for other reasons, and they are looking so forward to seeing it on the iPad Zoom site, which we'll post on the YouTube this afternoon, and then it'll be on the iPad website under Zoom lessons this afternoon. So
Thank
thank
you.
you. It was.
It'll also be on YouTube so other people can see it.
That's right. It'll be on iPad YouTube. Yes.
Okay, great, because my students want to see it.
Yeah. Well, the YouTube works nicely because you can put it on a TV and it makes it much larger.
Yes.
Does anyone else have any questions? Unmute yourself and ask.
Can I have another question? If we want use gold, should we use solvent for making the gold thinner when looser? I mean, when we are working with brush.
If you're using liquid bright, then it should be thin enough. And if not, go with whatever you were told to thin your gold with. I don't use the liquid bright. I use the Roman, and it has a thinner that I use with it. I don't use turpentine with it. I use the thinner that I buy to go with it. Gold is very touchy. You have to be very, very clean and clean up after yourself better than you think you need. Otherwise, it will either not fire on there or it'll fire purple. So keep your gold implements completely away from your oils and your paints. Don't contaminate your gold. And use whatever the manufacturer has told you to use to thin it down. I get my Roman gold from Ceramics in New Jersey, and they sell a thinner, very inexpensive, that I always use with my gold.
Yeah,
And
we
that's
recently tried to buy gold from ceramic, and they don't sell anymore, unfortunately.
Ceramics doesn't?
Not anymore. Not Roman golds.
Oh no,
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
that is not good. Very much not good. I don't really know where you would get it then. Maybe Maryland. I don't know if any of the individual teachers sell it. That's quite an investment. Do you know, Suzanne?
I don't know if you are you using the gold that's in the palette and you mix it off of the little glass palette. Are you using the liquid?
I'm using the paste out of it's sort of liquid and it's not. It's
Yeah.
thicker.
Nancy Bergman is who I buy my gold from, but the palette gold I keep it treasured in the back because I don't use it as much as I do the other.
Well, I can see why if that's what you've got is just on that little thing.
Okay, again, I want to thank you, Shirley, for your time and
You're so welcome.
sharing your talents with us.
Thank you very much.
And I am going to end the lesson unless someone else has another question.
All right. You girls have a lovely day.
Thank you very much.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.